Hi everybody, I'm Lauren Evanthia, next to me is Des, and we're presenting another crazy story from the world today.
Welcome to another edition of Stranger Than Fiction, and today we'll be talking about the future of the world and specifically something that is happening on the Arabian Peninsula.
Yes, from the Business Insider, we are covering a very interesting story about the line. The Saudi crown prince wants to build $1 trillion utopia in the desert. His deals with China reveal a darker vision.
And it's this darker vision that we'll be focusing on, and certainly something that we've been concerned about throughout the world, not just within Saudi Arabia, but here it is more blatant, more open, and yes, let's get into the article.
By 2040, Saudi Arabia is aiming to build a futuristic city in the desert called Neom. It's part of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salam's modernizing vision of the country. But analysts believe that Chinese tech could be used to place residents under total surveillance.
Well, based on everything that they have shown, everyone will be under total surveillance permanently. And I don't know why they're just focusing on Neom and the line, which we've covered before, because there's so many other places in the world where this is taking place right now. Here in our country, South Africa, many smart cities are being developed. And the current smart cities, people were under surveillance by the very people that sold the property to them. And I'm sure in those documents it says that you will comply to certain rules and regulations.
It is interesting, but let's see what they have to say. Plans for the $1 trillion Saudi Arabian desert city of Neom are taking shape, and prospective residents are being promised an experience like something from a sci-fi movie. The city is said to have a 100-mile-long vertical skyscraper running through its heart, also known as the Strip. It will be carved through the desert in the arid northwest of the country.
And this is actually being developed. I verified this on Google Earth. You can actually see the excavation taking place, and I've seen around 30 kilometers of excavations taking place at this stage. And now whether this will actually come to fruition or not, we don't know at this stage. But Neom is a vast area in Saudi Arabia. So it's not just about the line. There's many other developments, and it's almost like a country within a country, a new world order, because they want this area to be for a specific type of person. Maybe they don't care that they will be surveilled.
If you watch the promo video, basically it's for the beautiful and the healthy.
Yes, and the rest of us mere plebs, no, you won't be able to get into the borders or afford that kind of living.
I wonder how much it will cost to live there.
Well, we'll find out in future, I'm sure.
It will also feature glow-in-the-dark beaches, ski slopes, an artificial moon, robot butlers, and flying taxis, according to glossy brochures and public statements by its planners. But behind the outlandish plan, which was developed by Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is a potentially much darker reality.
Control. Total digital control.
The Control Prince has been strengthening his ties.
The Control Prince, I like
Sorry. You're brainwashing me here. The Crown Prince has been strengthening his ties with China's leader, Xi Jinping, who has agreed to provide powerful surveillance technology.
Now we're getting to the bottom of everything.
That's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Imagine a sci-fi movie where everyone lives in an absolute utopia that you cannot leave.
Yes.
That's
well,
almost
that's
like
what it is.
Brave New World.
How are you going to leave this place? You'll be born there and know nothing else.
This is really Brave New World in
What's
action.
that movie that Jim Carrey starred in as a youngster?
One, Truman Show, yes.
The Truman Show, something like that.
Bulelani Jili, a Harvard University fellow who researches China's global ambitions, told Insider that Xi is seeking to normalize and seek to legitimize its vision of a state-led cyberspace and surveilled public. Communism meets the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
How exciting.
Total disaster. But for some people, they'll beg and plead for something like
this.
this.
So they can be free from crime.
There won't be any crime, but you won't have any choices either.
There won't be art, thoughts, opinion, nothing.
Nothing. Okay, let's go for the rest of this.
China
disaster.
has already provided surveillance technology for the creation of so-called safe cities run on user data in Egypt and Serbia, a report by the Washington Institute think tank found.
We will still do a future article on this new city being developed in Egypt.
Crown Prince Mohammed appears keen to replicate those projects on a grander scale.
Everything bigger and better, hey?
Of
You
course.
have to beat the US.
But that's also the psychology of anyone that has power. They want to maintain power.
Total
And
power.
to maintain power, you need to control citizens, not
Correct.
citizens, subjects.
Subjects, yeah. Slaves.
What is Neom? Neom, the so-called zero-carbon city of the future, is the centerpiece of the Crown Prince's attempt to modernize the country and reduce its reliance on fossil fuels. I wonder how much of this vision is dependent on that fusion experiment.
A lot.
And if that doesn't work out, I wonder what's going to be left of Neom.
Well, China's really pushing for that to happen at this stage.
It's a ticket for him to enshrine himself as the Saudi leader that modernized the country and usher it into a new technological era. And Mara Fatafta, a policy manager at Access Now, a Berlin-based digital rights organization. Neom's executive director Giles Pendleton told the UAE-based newspaper The National that construction for the project was proceeding rapidly and the city would house 9 million residents by 2045.
That's around the corner.
9 million residents.
2045 is around the corner. To build something of that scale, it's never been done
It's literally
before.
12 years from now.
But the Chinese can build things fast.
According to Pendleton, Neom will be made up of 10 regions. One region known as The Line is being marketed as a zero-carbon area where residents' data will be used to adjust services to their needs.
Yes.
What does
The
that sound
data,
like?
The AI will tell you what
That's
you
a-
need,
it's a-
what you should eat, where you should
It's a
go.
PR spin on saying you will be rationed, basically.
Fully controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City planners say that current smart cities use around 10% of possible user data. Per their plans, Neom will be enabled by AI and will use 90%.
90%.
Nice.
Nice.
James Shires, a research...
How many of you want to live in this city? I mean, there might be some of you that's absolutely drooling to get your hands on a piece of that technology. Tell us in the comments.
James Shires, a researcher at London's Chatham House think tank, told Insider the Crown Prince had ambitions for a city where services including refuse collection, health and train times are regulated by data from sources such as smartphones and surveillance technology. Neom is designed to leapfrog those other smart cities to begin from the ground up in a sort of entirely designed fashion to collect data and use that data for the purposes of the city. But some voices, including Fatafta, are warning that the futuristic and luxurious vision in Neom's brochures conceals a darker project in line with the Crown Prince Mohammed's authoritarian instincts.
He's already taken out a few people for resisting this native people that lived in the area.
Yes.
Off with your head.
No
That's
different.
literally what happened.
Literally no different to the UN.
Yeah, no different.
The smart city capabilities are just a futuristic attraction, but could be deployed as a tool for invasive surveillance by state security services. Fatafta
Could
said.
be. Seriously, I mean,
How is China involved? Last December, the Crown Prince welcomed Xi to Saudi Arabia for a lavish summit where the leaders announced cooperation across a broad range of issues, including surveillance technology. It appeared to be the beginning of a fruitful partnership for Crown Prince Mohammed. In Xi, experts say he found a leader who shares his conviction that technology can enable them to expand their economies while relinquishing none for their authoritarian control. We're not yet seeing quite the same degree of sort of physical surveillance in Saudi Arabia as we've been seeing in China, for example, but China is working with the Saudis and other Gulf countries to start to implement that. Anal Sheline, a researcher with the Quincy Institute in Washington, D.C., told Insider. I sense here a narrative that's painting anything that's not West as the authoritarian enemy, where America already has large levels of surveillance. So does Europe. So do a lot of the European countries have implemented technology.
yeah, it's not just the East.
No.
It's not just
So
China.
there is definitely a divisive narrative being played when we know all the global players are instituting AI to surveil all of humanity.
The European Union, the UN, all of them.
Exactly. That is something that Chinese are selling to the Saudis and other Gulf countries, she said.
I find it very interesting that they are coming out with this narrative against China when I know under President Donald Trump they rolled out masses of fifth generation technology. Even when a general warned him that China has done this to surveil their people, Donald Trump then exponentially increased the installation of the surveillance technology and fired this general, which shows you that things aren't always what they seem.
Definitely not. James, the Chatham House researcher, said that one form this technology took was surveillance cameras linked to facial recognition technology that could be used to trace past and real-time movements. It also represents a real risk to people's privacy, especially depending on how the data is collected and stored. Chinese technology provides the capacity to link surveillance camera footage to other data sets, including biometric information. Now we know this is not just Chinese technology.
No, this is happening right here where we live, in Cape Town, South Africa, where the Democratic Alliance is in charge and the quickest people to roll out this technology. They absolutely love being in control, having power, and surveilling people, real voyeurists.
Mixed with some democratic socialism is a recipe for disaster.
Democratic socialists. Yeah, absolutely.
Another potential concern is cloud technology, specifically the companies that store huge amounts of computer data. The Chinese telecoms giant Huawei has already signed contracts with Saudi Arabia, including in Neom, and James said that there were huge questions about how much privacy protection the firm would provide users in the city.
Come on.
There's no such thing as privacy in this type of world. How could Neom use... Oh, well, yeah, wait, just before I get there.
We will give you a link to this article in the description below the video as well as in the first comment, so you can go and read the article yourself.
Saudi Arabia has recently moved to strengthen its data privacy laws, but organizations, including Human Rights Watch, have warned that the laws are too weak. How, again, a hint towards a global body to censor everything. How could Neom use surveillance? While casting himself as a reformer, Crown Prince Mohammed has dealt brutally with cities and opponents of the Saudi government, with the US State Department accusing his government of the 2018 murder of the Saudi dissident Jamal Khashoggi. Scary stuff. As he sought to consolidate his power, he has also worked to enhance his capacity to monitor critics through technology and thereby crush dissent. But here what I'm seeing is we're painting him as an absolute villain when we know the American government has done very terrible things.
If you actually go to the next paragraph, you will hear about Pegasus, which has been used in South Africa.
There we go. The Saudi government used the Israeli spyware Pegasus to monitor critics, and a Saudi agent infiltrated Twitter to steal the personal data of users who used the platform to criticize the Saudi government.
Old news, and the CIA is the best at doing all of these things. So really, and I'm not a Saudi supporter or a China supporter. We need to make plain that this is a worldwide issue.
Yes, we need to be objective, and this article is anything but objective because it's targeting two specific nations and painting them as absolute villains, where every single country is ruled by a villain at this stage.
That's what it looks like, absolutely.
Every single president or person in charge or government wants to control data and thereby control people. So this article goes on much longer, so that's why we'll put the link in the description.
So you can go and read it yourself. But think about that type of world, and this won't just be a Saudi project. There are numerous cities being planned within the US right now that I've researched, where the developers openly say that everyone walking around in there will be biometrically scanned for fingerprints, eyeball, everything you can imagine. Who knows, the footprints, facial scans, the whole lot. And you will be monitored, tracked and traced morning, noon and night. And they are selling this as utopias where there will be no crime.
Well, it says here, just to finalize this article, they're being marketed as eco-cities or smart cities. And for me, this is not just about Neom, it's about all the smart cities that are happening at your doorstep.
Kiev is a smart city. You should ask yourself why Russian President Vladimir Putin hasn't flattened the place yet. Maybe he's in cahoots with his whole plan. He also likes power, and he also likes to control people. So he has rolled out the 5th generation technology across Russia to monitor, track and trace people. So all these people that are seen as heroes by some, rethink. Because around the world, there's a group of people that are implementing this technology, and articles like this is just pitting the one against the next. They are all doing the same thing. They're doing it here in our country, and you need to ask yourself, what are you going to do to safeguard yourself from that future?
Yes, a future of absolute control. So
Is there anything else you want to cover in the article?
No, that is everything. The article does go on, so we'll put the link in the description and in the comments section. But this is happening across the world. Educate yourself on where in your country or area smart cities are being developed, and see how life is being converted to a smart city system as we know it.
And I think how your child in school is being prepared for this type of living. Where, as Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum that we've covered before said, that you will own nothing and you will be happy.